Calling to order the Cuyahoga County Council's regular meeting for Tuesday, July the 23rd, 2019. Clerk, please call the roll.
Calling the roll, Mr. Tuma?
Here.
Mr. Gallagher? Here. Mr. Schron?
Here.
Ms. Conwell? Present. Mr. Jones? Here. Ms. Brown? Here. Ms. Stevens?
Present.
Ms. Simon?
I'm here.
Ms. Baker?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Council President Brady? Here. You have a quorum.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Damn, that's some precision.
Madam Clerk, is there any public comment?
Yes, Ms. Lou?
Good evening.
Good evening.
It seems like lots of things are going on in a positive way for our county. Now we have the workforce project already started going. Mr. Schron told us one important thing, a job is a job. That's an important thing for our county. Then we have all other organizations started hosting more seminars or meetings to encourage the participation of our community as a whole. And even I signed up for the one next month, Mr. Miller will attend. Unfortunately, I missed the one Mr. Dave Greenspan attended this morning. And for our situation here, housing, jobs, all these basic stuffs are still issues here. I believe that we really need a better comprehensive plan instead of only do one thing at a time, because that's how all the broken fragments to start in the first place. And I really appreciate all of you making effort, and we should do our part too. But still, we know certain issues are pressing. We are still running with the time. So I really wish there are certain things we can do and even do better, because we cannot afford to lose more lives or losing population in this county, because that hurts us, that hurts each and every one in this community altogether. Thank you for listening.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes as printed on the agenda for the July 11, 2019 Committee of the Whole, the July 11, 2019 regular meeting, and the July 18, 2019 Committee of the Whole / work session?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes have been approved. Is there a message from the county executive?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The microgrid project is potentially transformative for Cuyahoga County, and tonight you have it on third reading, and I'm asking politely your support. The proposal on for tonight is to hire Middo to help us draft the RFP to hire a developer to operate the microgrid. We anticipate that the cost will be somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 million based on the advice we've received from our advisors from Cleveland State and Case. There are indications from some potential developers that they would also like to finance and operate the microgrid. So we're anticipating that we'll see that in the RFP responses. We're asking for $315,000 tonight to hire Middo. Cleveland Foundation has awarded us $200,000 towards that amount already, which leaves us to pay $115,000. We've written into the RFP. I know that I think more than one council person has asked about whether we might be able to get that money back. The answer is we hope to. We've written it into the RFP. that the winning bidder would repay the county and Cleveland Foundation for the monies that we've already paid out. So I respectfully request your support for the Middo project, which is our next step in this very exciting transformation project. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislation introduced by council. Consideration of a resolution of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2019-0161, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
Human Resources. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions of council for second reading adoption under suspension of the rules. Clerk, would you please read into the record the legislation? R 2019.
Mr. President, I move to suspend those rules.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the rules are suspended. Thank you very much.
Resolution number 2019-0144, providing for the submission to the electors of the County of Cuyahoga an amendment to repeal Section 5.08 and enact Article 16 of the county charter to provide for additional requirements of the sheriff, including the powers, duties, qualifications, term, and removal process of the office. This item did in fact receive committee recommendation to be on this evening's agenda. Unfortunately, or fortunately or unfortunately, resolution number 2019-0134 did not receive the Committee of the Whole's recommendation to move forward.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Seconded. Any discussion? We had a thorough discussion this afternoon.
Mr. President?
Councilman Miller.
Mr. President and my colleagues, the problems at the county jail primarily represent mismanagement and failure to implement much-needed reforms that would improve equity and reduce population, such as elimination of cash bail and diversion of the mentally ill and addicted from incarceration. This is not primarily a question of structure. Therefore, I do not feel a sense of urgency to get a charter amendment regarding the county sheriff on the ballot in 2019. Nevertheless, the amendment being considered here represents a significant improvement over current practice and therefore merits my positive vote. By creating a fixed term with high requirements for removal within term and increasing the sheriff's powers to create his own management team, the amendment provides the sheriff a measure of independence within the appointed structure, and I believe strikes the right balance. And I recommend approval. Thank you.
Councilman Schron.
What the positive two resolutions that were discussed and the one that ultimately was voted out is a step in the right direction. Also, from a positive nature, we have built in to this language specific educational requirements, background, and experience that we expect going forward and look forward to when it passes. The council president and I actually sent a letter over to the county executive because there will be an opening anticipated in the county sheriff's department coming up, and we set the tone that this will be the standard to which we expect any nominations, any candidates to come forward, even though we look forward to this passing by the electorate in November. Between now and November, that's the same standard to which we expect any candidates to come forward to this body.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Please register the dissenting vote of Councilman Gallagher.
Yes, sir.
Legislation is adopted. All right. It's kind of anticlimactic, isn't it? In accordance with Rule 6B of the County Council Rules, I ask for a motion to add Resolution 2019-0170 to the agenda as an additional item before number 10 for consideration for first reading adoption and suspension of rules. I move to I move the motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on walking on the legislation? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Legislation is before us.
Excuse me, Mr. President, I'm unclear as who the second was. Thank you.
All right. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules. Sorry.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the rules are suspended. Clerk, would you please read the item into the record?
Resolution number 2019-0170, issuing a subpoena pursuant to Section 3.12 of the Cuyahoga County Charter to compel Cuyahoga County Sheriff Clifford Pinckney to testify before the Committee of the Whole and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Councilman Sean?
I will be supporting this action today, though it is with some concerns because there is a balance between the way these questions have been written, these 53 questions that were submitted initially, some of which are administrative in nature and should have been able to be answered, others which will have a potential to perhaps not be able to be answered by the individual and by maybe perhaps on advice of counsel, but we'll play that hand the way it is dealt because I think that all 53 of these questions could be answered by the sheriff's boss and the administrative actions. So after we follow this up and if we find that there are unanswered questions, it is my desire that this body will then take it to the next step and to seek answers for all 53 questions at whatever level it needs to be requested.
Any further discussion? We had a thorough discussion this afternoon. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. Legislation introduced by the executive. Consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption and suspension of the rules.
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The rules have been suspended.
Resolution number 2019-0162, amending the 2018-2019 biennial operating budget for 2019 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations for appropriation transfers and for cash transfers.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President and my colleagues, this is the regular monthly resolution of biennial budget amendments. The answers to our questions to OBM are on your desks. The Harvard Garage project, which was budgeted to cost just under $23 million, came in $3,681,000 under budget. This amount is transferred to the ERP project.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller, your microphone went off.
The light is on. Am I on now? Okay. So, as I said, the Harvard Garage project, which was budgeted to cost just under $23 million, came in at $3,681,000 under budget. This amount is transferred to the ERP project, which, as we know, is well over budget. In addition, $3 million in new appropriation is provided for the ERP project. $550,000 is appropriated to cover our obligations under state law to represent Ken Mills and Warren Eric Ivy in their legal defense. Finally, the previously approved $1 million for the tree canopy program is further delineated here. $950,000 is allocated to the County Planning Commission for grants to local authorities under this program, and $250,000 each are provided to the County Planning Commission and the Soil and Water Conservation District for administrative expenses. This resolution does contain some bitter pills, but we need to swallow them, and I recommend approval on first reading suspension.
Thank you, Councilman. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0163, approving a proposed settlement in the matter of Maria Cordero versus Cuyahoga County Executive, United States District Eastern Division Court Case number 118 CV 1827, authorizing the county executive and/or his designee to execute the settlement agreement and any related documentation, authorizing the appropriation of funds for payment of settlement amount set forth herein.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Moved and seconded. This item was discussed in executive session on June the 11th. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2019-0164, confirming the county executive's appointment or reappointment of various individuals to serve on the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County for various terms as printed on the agenda.
This will be referred to Human Resources.
Resolution number 2019-0165, confirming the county executive's appointment of various individuals to serve on the Cuyahoga County Monument Commission for various terms beginning September 1, 2019, as printed on the agenda.
This will also be referred to HR.
Resolution number 2019-0166, fixing the 2020 water, storm, and sanitary sewer maintenance and/or sewerage treatment rates for County Sewer District numbers 1, 1A, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 13, 14, 18, 20, 21, 22, and 24.
And this will be referred to Public Works.
Resolution number 2019-0167, approving and confirming the 2020 water, storm, and sanitary sewer maintenance and/or sewerage treatment assessments for County Sewer District numbers 1, 1A, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 13, 14, 18, 20, 21, 22, and 24.
Public Works.
Resolution number 2019-0168, authorizing the county executive to accept dedication of land for Ethan Circle and Gates Village Subdivision Phase 2, located in Olmsted Township as a public street with established setback lines, rights-of-way, and easements, authorizing the county executive to accept dedication of easements for construction, maintenance, and operation of public facilities and appurtenances in Gates Village Subdivision Phase 2 to public use granted to the county of Cuyahoga and its corporate successors.
This will also be referred to Public Works.
Resolution number 2019-0169, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1500-160 with AT&T Mobility National Accounts for wireless communication services and equipment for the period November 1, 2013 through December 31, 2018, to extend the time period to December 31, 2021, to change the scope of services effective January 1, 2019, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $4,500,000.
This will be referred to Finance. Committee report and consideration of a resolution for second reading.
Resolution number 2019-0150, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1400-135 with Alto 55 Erie View as successor in interest to BZT Acquisition for lease of space located at 75 Erie View Plaza, Cleveland, for operation of the Family Justice Center for the period June 1, 2014 through October 31, 2019, to extend the time period to October 31, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $780,360.
And this item will move to the August 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of the rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2019-0149, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 17002 with Mott McDonald for design engineering services for repair and resurfacing of Sprague Road from Webster Road to York Road in the cities of Middleburg Heights, North Royalton, Parma, and Strongsville, to change the scope of services effective June 25, 2019, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $726,761.
Motion to adopt?
Moved and seconded.
Council President, colleagues, this is Nicole English from Public Works came before the Public Works Committee on July 17th, explaining this resolution. This is an amendment to a design contract for Part 2 of a two-phase project. Part 1 was the pre-work, and now this is the final phase, and the project is estimated to be completed in 2021, and Public Works is requesting movement on this so this project can move forward promptly, and I would ask for my colleagues' support on this.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Just for the record, the correct way to say that contract number is CE 1700-002. Resolution number 2019-0153, authorizing a memorandum of understanding and agreement among Cuyahoga County, Say Yes to Education Incorporated, and Cleveland Municipal School District to establish funding responsibilities for year one of the Say Yes Cleveland Strategy Program for the period July 24, 2019 through July 23, 2020, authorizing a governance agreement with various Say Yes to Education partners, accepting a payment in the amount not to exceed $493,000 from Cleveland Municipal School District for said program, authorizing a payment in the amount not to exceed $1,415,000 to College Now Greater Cleveland Incorporated as fiscal agent of Say Yes to Education Incorporated.
To adopt.
Second.
This matter was heard in joint committee with Health and Human Service on last Wednesday, and we were able to hear from the participants from Say Yes to Education, CMSD, and all the partners who are going to be involved with taking the next step for Say Yes to Education. This is an amazing opportunity for us to uplift our children and really fulfill the mission that was stated in our charter that the county council had an obligation. This is one of our obligations, is to invest and create educational programs, and we're one of only, I think, 5. This is the last four cities that's been selected, and it's an amazing opportunity. So I ask for council support. The ask today is for $242,000 out of HHS levy dollars, and this goes to scholarship for the students that will be able to take advantage of this first group cohort, and it's for a year, and we'll go from there. And so I hope everybody will support this, and my name's not on it. It should be, so.
Mr. President.
Councilman Miller.
Mr. President, my colleagues, in my opinion, this is one of the most important programs that the county, in partnership with several other organizations, has embarked on, and I would also like to have my name added as a co-sponsor. The fundamental problem in Cuyahoga County is that the numbers are all moving in the wrong direction. Our number of children in custody keeps rising, our population keeps dropping, opiate facilities and incarceration numbers remain stubbornly high, and a broad range of racial and ethnic disparities remain wide. By giving graduates of the Cleveland School District the services and financial aid they need to get to post-secondary education and succeed there, this program has the potential to start moving these numbers in the right direction. I've long thought about completing the triple play in Cleveland. The Cavaliers Championship and the RNC were the first two, and Say Yes to Education is the third and the most important. Thank you.
All right, I believe Councilman Jones indicated you want to speak, or what's your name on the list?
Just briefly, a little bit of all of that.
Okay.
I certainly would like to have my name added as well. But again, this partnership between corporate Cleveland and our school systems, it's an incredible project. All of our children who graduate in the city of Cleveland will have an opportunity to take advantage of this. And I want everyone to recognize, coupled with that, I want to point out one school, Ted Ginn Academy, a Cleveland school who has a 98% graduation rate. They have mentors, youth supporters, they call them, in that school who really help facilitate critical components of why that school has a 98% graduation rate. And I say that to say we have replicated what they've done through our county initiatives with CTAG, and as those school systems who have had an opportunity to take advantage of what we're doing, we are increasing the graduation rate. So between those efforts of this council, of this county government, to again increase graduation, coupled with what Corporate Cleveland has done here to send those that graduate to college, the synergy is just an incredible thing. And again, I do ask that my name be added to this legislation.
Councilwoman Brown would also like to add her name. All right, thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0154, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1700-230 with Emerald Development and Economic Network Incorporated for the Rapid Rehousing Program for homeless individuals and families for the period January 1, 2018 through December 31, 2019, for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $630,826.
Through the chair, this program is funded by U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and Cleveland Emergency Solution Grant. And so I ask my colleagues to please pass.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0155, confirming the county executive's appointment of Prentice Jackson Jr. to serve on the Cuyahoga County Tax Incentive Review Council for an unexpired term ending December 31, 2022.
Second.
Council President, this was heard in the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee meeting held on July 16th, and I understand this candidate meets all of the qualifications, so we respectfully request our colleagues' support.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0156, authorizing a real estate transfer agreement with the Metro Health System for the transfer of certain excess county-owned real property no longer needed for public use, located on the southeast quadrant of the intersection of West 25th Street and Sackett Avenue in the city of Cleveland, to CCH Development Corporation for redevelopment for low-income housing.
Move to adopt. Moved and seconded.
Yes, Mr. President, on the same date for the last day Public Works Committee, several members of Metro Health representation came in before a Public Works Committee and explained this resolution, which includes affordable housing as part of the redevelopment plan, including housing for potential housing for employees, and this involves Cleveland Metro Health being able to get a tax credit project through the city of Cleveland in 2020 out of the Fact 50 tax credit. And so they're looking to move this on as construction begins in 2020 and hopefully completed by 2021. We had a very thorough discussion with committee members, and I would ask for council's support on second reading suspension.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please add my name to this legislation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0157, approving right-of-way exhibits as set forth in plat number M5039 for replacement of Lindbergh Boulevard, culvert number C-00.93 over a creek to the west branch of the Rocky River in the city of Olmsted Falls, authorizing the county executive through the Department of Public Works to acquire said necessary rights-of-way.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And Mr. President, Nicole English of Public Works came before Public Works Committee. And this is part of the culvert program. We're looking at $8,000 estimated total to be doled out to homeowners as part of a right-of-way so they can install culverts in Olmsted Falls. And I would ask for your support on this so they can get moving with the project.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0158, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1800-132 with Mainsail for staff augmentation for the Enterprise Resource Planning Project for the period September 17, 2018 through September 16, 2019, to extend the time period to March 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,453,899.
Move to adopt.
Moved and seconded.
Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution extends the Mainsail contract for professional services to assist in the ERP installation from September 16, 2019 through March 31st, 2020. and adds $1,453,899 to the contract. As much as we don't like the additional cost, Mainsail deserves a shout-out. The county has had trouble hiring the people needed for this project. Mainsail gave us access to quality people that could be brought on board quickly. We would be in even worse shape on the ERP if it were not for Mainsail. I recommend approval on second reading suspension.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Mr.
Resolution-
President, I am
yes.
uncertain as to who the second was on that item. Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0159, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with City of Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $771,900 for operation of the Family Justice Center for the period June 1, 2019 through May 31, 2023, in connection with a lease for space located at 75 Erie View Plaza, Cleveland.
Move to adopt.
Second.
President, this was heard in committee. The committee respectfully requests that this be passed. This is a success story with the city of Cleveland with regards to the Family Justice Center, which is a well thought out and well needed and used justice facility. So we recommend passage.
Mr. President, can I add my name? I support this.
Okay, Councilwoman Simon's name. Anybody else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0160, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1700-145 with Us Together Incorporated for interpretation and translation services for the period September 1, 2017 through August 31, 2019, to extend the time period to August 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $628,411.50.
Mr. Chair, this is funded 100% by TANF funds, but there also in committee it was stated that there has been an increase with the individuals utilizing these services. So it was a price that was a little bit more than last year's. And I ask passage.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2019-0151, designating Dollar Bank Federal Savings Bank an eligible institution as a public depository of active and interim funds of Cuyahoga County, authorizing a bank depository agreement for deposits of said public funds in the deposit limit amount not to exceed $200 million for the period July 1, 2019 through August 23, 2021, in accordance with the Uniform Depository Act of Ohio.
To adopt. Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution simply names Dollar Bank as one of the eligible depositories for county funds, bringing the total number of eligible banks to 8. There is a much more important item in the works that will actually contract for financial services. We expect that community lending and participation goals will be a factor in awarding this contract. An RFP has been issued for this contract and responses are now being reviewed. I recommend approval of the depository resolution. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0152, authorizing a contract with Meadow Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $235,000 for consultant services for development of a request for proposals for operation of a local microgrid for the period May 3rd, 2019 through December 31, 2020.
Move to adopt.
Second. I understand there is a, somebody, did you want to address the legislation before the motion or?
Excuse me, Ms. Stevens, your microphone.
With staff, the staff is willing to amend the legislation, and it is with my full support that the language in whoever selected as vendor be changed to require the reimbursement to the county and other partners of the pre-development costs, unless, of course, it's a complete failure. But we do believe that this is a good project to undertake. However, getting our principal back allows us to help more businesses or more sustainable development.
So is that a motion?
Okay.
To accept the proposed amendment? Any discussion on the proposed amendment? All those in favor of accepting the proposed amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. The amendment is accepted. Any further discussion?
Sure, if I could. So what this is, it's a microgrid, which I didn't fully understand the draw when I heard the State of a County address by Executive Budish. I didn't really fully understand why this would be an economic tool and driver. So I thank the executive and Mike Foley for bringing this forward. But what this does is, first of all this resolution does is have us commit to $115,000 to hire Middow to run an RFP process to find a developer to run a microgrid. And why is a microgrid important? Because many businesses pay to have backup support if the electricity goes down, if there's a blackout, and they're paying money for this backup that's necessary to run their operation. And what the grid will do, it will be there just in an infrastructure support system, so the businesses would not have to pay additional funds to have this support. So it's already there. And what's unique about this is that we have our CPP, and the president spoke to this in committee, and lines already that are in the ground to enable us to have this microgrid running from a downtown area, from I forgot what to what, 55th to downtown basically. So we're uniquely poised to be able to have a microgrid, which is different from other cities that would have to install these lines. They don't have their own CPP, their power plant. So I think this is really worth going forward and spending the $115 and with my colleagues' amendment to hopefully get back. And if it is successful, which I don't see why necessarily it wouldn't be, we will also have money coming back to be able to fund a special project fund to help us further develop projects down the road. So it's win-win, and I ask for my colleagues' support and appreciate hopefully this being a successful project.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'm sorry, can I just want to clarify, at the beginning, I mentioned that this was $315,000 for Middow. That was not totally correct. This is correct it's $235 for Middow and $80 for Cleveland State. The bottom line is accurate. It's a total of $115,000 net, but just want to make it clear it's split. And the CSU will, I believe, come before Board of Control next week.
All right, thank you. This is particularly, as the councilman said, appealing as a unique project in Greater Cleveland, and can only happen because of the infrastructure that's already been existing for many years. So I look forward to watching its progress.
Mr. President.
Councilman Schron.
Thank you. Yeah. I wanted to dig into it and look into what it was, and so I'm not on that committee, but I did meet with Mr. Foley and Mr. Carter. One of the things that is at least is appealing to me is they are going to be using natural gas as the power source for this, which is coming from, more than likely, from our Ohio-based natural gas drillings, and being the power source for the continuous power. One of the things that, though, I think needs to be emphasized is this must be an economic development program first and foremost. If it's going to be a supported pilot, we need to have end user customers who want to buy this power. It will not be at the commercial rate. It'll be at a little bit higher rate to have the sustainability of the power being there on a continuous basis. Meeting with Mr. Foley, we did discuss the fact that there are only general industries that have been identified. The real test will be when somebody actually, as an end user customer, wants to buy the power and replicate similar to what Blue Bridge and people like that are already doing with their own sustained power. So I'll support the pilot in the hopes that we see names of companies before we get to the $100 million number.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Baker.
Yeah, I just thank you, Mr. President. I just want to reiterate that and thank Director Foley. He's been very thorough in reaching out, I think, to all of us in explaining this project. I will be supporting it. I am a little reluctant, only that it is a large $100 million project, that we are assured that no public dollars will be invested beyond what we're investing here today. We have a lot on our plate right now. We have a lot of expenses that we need to be accountable for, and it does make me a little uneasy to go into another project that we're looking at $100 million. But as long as we all understand that this is private sector dollars from here on out, I trust that the director will do his job, and this will be something that we will all see a return on the investment.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor of adopting the resolution on its merits as amended, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Resolution is adopted. Committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading.
Ordinance number 2019-0009, enacting Chapter 724 of the Cuyahoga County Code to authorize an increase by 1% of the bed tax for the purpose of paying the direct and indirect costs of constructing, improving, expanding, equipping, financing, or operating a convention center.
And this item will move to the August 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Miscellaneous committee reports.
Council President, the Human Resource Appointment and Equity Committee will meet on its regularly scheduled time Tuesday, July 30th for the 3 items that were referred today.
Safety, Tuesday, for right now, 1 o'clock.
Public Works at its regularly scheduled time next Wednesday.
Mr. President and colleagues, Finance and Budget will meet at our regularly scheduled time on Monday, the 29th at 1 p.m. We will hear the second quarter financial report on that date instead of the previously scheduled August 5th. And we will also hear one piece of legislation. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Yes, the County Operations, Intergovernmental Relations, and Transportation Committee will meet on Tuesday, July 30th at 3 o'clock, pending any committee that may be before it. We could delay that meeting to allow more time.
Okay, just to clarify, we are referring Resolution 2019-0170, the subpoena of the sheriff, to the Committee of the Whole for June the 30th at 1 p.m., the regular time of the Safety Committee meeting. July the 30th, what did I say? Okay, I'm sorry, that's done. July 30th, that's correct.
Right.
Okay.
Mr. President, excuse me, is that for discussion purposes only and not a referral?
Well,
That's the actual discussion on
this is the discussion. I mean, what do you mean by a referral?
the subpoena itself, so the sheriff then will be in attendance at that meeting.
Well,
Is
the
that what
sheriff
you're
will be
saying?
compelled to
Yes.
be at this meeting.
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yes, okay. Any other questions about that? See you there. Any miscellaneous business?
I just wanted to bring up, Council President, that I was a sponsor on the 0170 legislation, so
All
I'll
right.
be at it.
Councilwoman is a sponsor,
And Mr. President,
and Councilwoman Simon is also a sponsor.
but if
Anybody
something
else?
else too.
All
when
right,
you're-
no
before you
more
finish.
takers. All right. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Without any further business before the council, any other comments?
I do.
Okay.
Miscellaneous, just that the Planning Commission, if my colleagues don't know, that we are in search of and interviewing executive directors, and that we're in the process of interviewing candidates to head up the Planning Commission, just so you're aware. And that impacts our township, since we do all the planning for it.
All right. Anything else before the committee? Hearing none, the council meeting is adjourned.